afternoon. It's Motivational Monday. Come on down. It is time to get busy. Who is here? Say hello, hello. Say hello. There we go. Here comes some people. Here we go. I love to see you show up. I love to see you show up. Bring it on. There we go. Hello, Vanessa. Who else was that? I just missed the other one. And Courtney. And Yvonne. I can't see. I can't find my glasses. You guys. I'm asleep. So you just have to deal with my squinting. Hi, Christine. Good to see everybody. Bring it on. Let's go crazy. And Marianne's in the house. Hi, ladies. And Susan's here. This is live now. Yes, Christine. I see you. It's always on 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Saturday. Sundays, sometimes we go, but, like next Sunday, probably. This Sunday I will be on for sure because we're getting ready for the sprint. And I want to make sure my girls are ready. I got Ruth in the house, a bunch of people. Hello. Thank you so much for showing up and putting up with me. My blindness. Emily, good to see you. Yay. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it's 12 p.m. in Texas. It's 10 a.m. on Pacific time. So, however it works for you, I go with where I am. Just makes it easier. So this is a new week. This week, 1 week from today is the beginning of a new sprint, you guys. And guess what? I'm just exciting. If you are a part of our sprint community already, we're going to send you the down and dirty how to do the sprint without cooking. Against my better judgment, I might add, just simply because I like that you get really invested and have to do things. It's just a thought process that I have. It's a belief system that I have that when you are invested, when you really cook and you do and you prepare and you're writing things down and you're cooking away on the stove, I believe that makes you a little bit more aware of what it is that you're doing and you're fully invested. But I also, and that is not to shame anyone, right? But I also understand that sometimes just life throws you, a ringer and you just need a little time. You just need to be able to buy something. And how do I do this? And I've got all the answers for you. If you're part of the Sprint community, that is going to be going out. Our lovely community manager, Jenny, will be sending that out to everybody. But the other thing to know is that if you want to be a part of this, want the daily emails and the daily motivational videos and all the other stuff, you have to sign up again. So just go to Saving Dinner and you'll see right there, as soon as you get there, there is a little banner. Click on that banner, get it, and you'll see it. And by the way, the new, we're calling it the down and dirty sprint. It's there. It's there waiting for you. Just waiting for you. All you have to do is go get it. This Friday is, of course, Q&A. So if you have a question, you send your question in to support@savingdinner.com. And in the subject line, question for Leanne on Friday, I answer them. So if it's a nutrition question, great. If it's a whatever question, go ahead and send them out. Just remember, I get some questions sometimes that I just can't answer because I'm not a doctor. I'm a nutritionist, a good nutritionist, but I'm not a doctor. And happy to help you out any way that I can. A cooking question, whatever, just send them in. And we do this every Friday. And speaking of Fridays, this Friday, I will be awarding another Mindful Mug. Mindful Mug is what we use to bring ourselves back to center and to make ourselves prepared for the meal that we're about to partake. We put a little bone broth in there and we just think about not being a ferocious eater, not eating like we are horses, draft horses with a feed bag strapped to us, not eating great big gulping food and chewing it down and like a Hoover vacuum cleaner. We want to get back to the place of healed from our food addictions. We don't want to be eating all the time. We want to have everything in line. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get into alignment. Speaking of which, if you're on our email list, what I want you to do is to be watching for our series coming up. We have an alignment assignment. It's a 3-part series that's going to be coming up. So watch for that. It's not out yet, nope, but it's coming. Just watch for it. But I want you to be you have to get on the email list for that. So spoiler alert. Also, another way to get this mindful mug, and we sent a bunch out this week, is if you order $250 in supplements, and that's stocking up, you guys. That's stocking up and getting ready. We'll put a mindful mug in there, and you'll get a little note from me too. So I really appreciate that, and I think it's really cool that you do this. So if you want to be really smart about it, you'll also put one of our supplements in there called Glyco Sign. Glyco Sign is for people, it's a digestive enzyme, but it also helps with blood sugar issues. And it's one of my favorite things. We have this in. You can buy, this is a great deal on it, by the way. Buy 3 of them or so, I would. Just because when it's gone, it's going to be gone. I'm trying to get this manufactured again. But I'm serious. It's like a full-time job trying to deal with formulating supplements and what have you. So we have a lot going on. But the glycozyme, you'll see, it's in our store. And this is what it looks like. It's fantastic, and it gets ships free. When you put this in your cart and anything else, and you type in ships free in the little promo window, guess what? It ships free. The whole thing. The whole kit and caboodle. But the glycozyme needs to be in there. And I'd throw in some body clutter tea while I was at it, and maybe some hot melt mix, because that's what I'm drinking right now. How do you like that? The name of it is called Glycozyme. Glycozyme. Glyco like glycogen, it's helping you to, or glycose, it's helping you with blood sugar. So there's your glyco, right? How do you like that? So that's it for the announcements. I think we've got enough of that, right? We have a new quote of the week, which I really like. This one's from Mark Batterson. He is actually is a pastor in the DC area. And his little quote is, "You are one decision away from a totally different life." And I mentioned this on Saturday, and I will mention to it again. I have been kind of marinating in this little quote, because this is the truth. That one thing, just one thing, one decision, one action can completely change the trajectory of your life. Have you ever noticed that? Have you noticed that when you made that decision to make a move, leave a job and start a new job or whatever, it was that one decision, and that one decision had so much attached to it. That's how it is. That's how these things are. That when we make a decision that's pro us, we can do that. And I believe that our whole decision-making matrix is in what I call our beautiful self. And I always make this big round heart that goes into this whole place, because honestly, we live from our hearts sometimes, don't we? We don't want to live from our feelings necessarily. We want to feel things. We want to have emotions. We don't want to live and react. Our feelings sometimes can lead us down the wrong road. I mean, just if we are going to be super knee-jerky reactive, and every time somebody hurts our feelings or does something and we cut them off or whatever, that's a terrible way to make life decisions. We need to make our decisions based on the things that have been thought through. And we understand our brain, and we understand how our brains work, that we have a frontal cortex, we have a limbic system, we have the monkey brain. We have all these different ways of kind of sorting through and making decisions about things. And I will tell you, and I've said this before, that I believe, like so many people in prison are in prison because of one really bad decision and one really fast knee-jerk reaction that caused them to do something that they wish they hadn't done. And it's completely, talk about a decision changing the complete trajectory of your life. But we have an opportunity, if we understand how our brains work, if we understand how things work, we have an opportunity to change things up and to work with our brain instead of working against it. And, we have limiting beliefs. We all do. We have things inside of we have life experiences that have molded us. We all have that. And those things, very much play into the way we lead our lives and the things that we think about and the way that we work things out. And so often, we're waiting for motivation to come raining down on us before we decide that we're going to make this change. And what I've noticed is that a lot of times people will go out there and basically take a poll on people and asking people, what do you think of this? So I'll give you a good example. I belong to this one group that they're like hardcore fasters. And, I am not as hardcore as these guys are. I mean, these guys are like really hardcore, but it's interesting to me. There's a few doctors in there and they post some interesting scientific studies and I'm there for the education. But every once in a while, you'll get somebody who posts and says, all of my friends are saying this, that, and the other thing and blah, 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 blah. And they're having like these massive, huge arguments with people who have an opinion about what this woman is doing or this man is doing or whatever. And I'm thinking, what is this exactly? And on the other hand, too, I will get this also in my groups where I'll have somebody who'll say, oh, this, that, and the other thing is happening. Anyone else? And it's interesting to me that we are so interested in everybody else's opinions. And I wonder what that's about sometimes. Is that because their opinions are more valuable than ours? Is it because we're not feeling sure of ourselves or we need somebody to come alongside and go, oh, yeah, that's me too, me too? I know we're tribal. I know we're community oriented and we need our family and our people around us. I get that. But there are times when we put too much value on someone else's opinion. And as Brene Brown says, you're not even in the same arena as I am. You're sitting outside watching, criticizing, saying things, and you're not even in the same arena as I am. One of the things that I learned a long time ago when I wrote my very first book, I will say my very first really legitimate book. I wrote 3 books with a very bad publisher. The best thing she did was get me on QVC, but it turned into basically a rip-off scheme because I never got my royalties or anything. But that's okay. It got me to the place that I needed to go. This is what happens. And it also got me to the place of, meeting Marla, meeting our agent. We have the same agent and all of that. So it was a good story. But the comments that I would read from people who hadn't read the book and on Amazon and all of this stuff, and it would bum me out. Oh my gosh, it would bum me. And I mean, I would have tears rolling down my face. And it finally dawned on me, well, how many books have these characters written? And they even admit that they haven't even written a book or hadn't even read the book or saw one thing or looked through it, hadn't tried the recipes, and on it goes. Because people behind a keyboard are really good at criticism, aren't they? People behind a keyboard are really good at having opinions. They're trolls is what they are essentially. And when you're out there doing the work and busting your hump and have some joker come in, have an opinion and decide that what you're doing isn't the right thing, or I heard, or I read, or, you shouldn't be doing this, I get so absolutely ticked off. You know why? They haven't done the work for themselves. They haven't looked up the research. They haven't done any of it. And yet their opinion, and some of you are holding fast to their opinion and saying, well, so-and-so said, and she read, and this, that, and the other thing. And I say to you this, be an empowered woman. Do your own research. Do not go after the monkey gallery here and let them have any say-so in your life. All these people with opinions, let me just tell you something. The only thing in common that we have with all of these people with opinions is that we all have belly buttons too. We all have belly buttons too. There is always somebody out there very opinionated, very strong, and saying that if you're fasting, don't do this, you're starving yourself, or you're going to end up with some kind of an eating disorder. That is uneducated, unintelligent thinking that is not based on research, it's based on something that they thought they saw. There's a lot of people out there, and you see them, and they're willing to share their opinion with you, and they have no skin in the game. So when they say you're doing this wrong or you're doing that wrong, I invite you to say to them, well, come along and do it with me, and let's see about that. Or do you have research? I'd love to read the research on that. But it's time to turn off that kind of noise, guys. If we want the results that we're trying to get into our lives, and we have a gap to climb over, we've talked about this. We're here, we want to go there. And you know what? People always show you their ideal selves. People always show you that this is the ideal. They always show you that on social media, don't you? Don't they? Great pictures. Everything's perfect. And yet, really, they're over here. They're trying to figure out their way across the gap too. They're trying to build their own bridge. And yet, we take their opinions like the gospel truth. We take what they're saying and we believe it. And that becomes our demotivation. We get sabotaged by these disparaging remarks. We get put aside by them. We think that we can't do it. We're, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm overthinking this, and maybe I shouldn't be doing this, and maybe that's not right. And oh my gosh, my head's going to explode. And all I'm saying to you is I invite you to do this one thing, is to say, oh, that's an interesting opinion. That is really interesting. And where did you get this? Based on what research? And you're not being a jerk. You're just asking for sincerely what I would be asking for you. Because I get this all the time. I get this in my comments sometimes. Oh, I read that you shouldn't be doing that. When I say something, I said, the research will say something, and somebody will pipe in and say, well, I read that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to say right away, what did you read? Where did you get it from? And have you followed the research? Because you will read an amazing amount of stuff. I read something the other day that was talking about this one viral post, or maybe I saw it CNN, I don't know, on the news or something. But they were talking about a viral post that was absolutely 100% wrong. And they said that it came from the Denver Chronicle or something. There is no paper called the Denver Chronicle. It's the Denver Post. And it went through and it just maligned, this particular politician and had all this stuff in there. And it was just nothing but troll work. And yet we take that's gospel truth. It's not. And we see this posted over and over and over again on Facebook. Somebody will post something scary. Somebody will have something. And, now we've got coronaviruses, which 38% of Americans think that you can get the coronavirus by drinking a Corona beer. So there are dreadfully uneducated people out there, and they all have a very strong opinion somehow of your life. And then when you double down on that and decide to invite them in and ask them for your opinion of what you're doing, you're going to get hit by somebody who is completely unqualified. And that's what I'm saying to you. Don't ask for anybody's opinion. Keep your stuff to yourself. If somebody says, what are you doing? And you're skipping a meal or something because you're fasting, because you're not hungry yet and you're trying to correct your hunger hormones, and somebody says, well, you shouldn't be doing that. That's starvation. That's going to lead to muscle wasting. That's going to do this and that, because there are so many amateur nutritionists out there who think they know better because they read something. And I'm inviting you to have your own strong opinion, because your strong opinion is based on the research, and your strong opinion is based on you knowing what the truth is. The sprint is an education, like our friend Catherine said. It's an education. It's telling you about how to heal your hunger hormones, how to stop eating and grazing like a little cow out in the pasture all day. It's showing you how to eat in a way that's going to get the nutrients back into your cells. It's going to show you how to hydrate yourself, how to move correctly, and how to get your body back to the place of healed, losing weight easily, and feeling good. That's what it's about. And it's a 7-day process so you can understand it and feel it and see the results immediately following. That's why we do it. I love when we have people coming and saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. This is what it is. Yeah. this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what it can do. And there's research behind it. And you guys see it right there in the paper when I give it to you with the sprint. So don't allow people and their opinions to come in and rain down on you. And when you're doing your best work and all the trolls come alongside and they start saying and naysaying you and telling you shouldn't be doing it that way, you come to me. I'll take care of them for you. Put up your dukes. I'm ready. I am not going to allow you to be taken down by a bunch of trolls who don't know what they're talking about. And I don't care if it's your husband, your best friend, or the person in the desk next to you at work. It's not any of their business. What you're doing and how you're building your life and your health and every single thing else is for the people who are in the arena. It's for the people who are slugging it out and doing the work, not the peanut gallery over here with their opinions. So just tell them that the one thing that you and I have in common is a belly button, and that's about it. Let it go. Dead serious, let it go. You are one decision away from a totally different life. And that decision-making process that you own is big, important, and it's yours. And do not make decisions based on other people's opinions. Make decisions based on logic, based on science, based on research, and based on proof. We've got that. Not these guys. Don't let them just derail you. Don't let them take you down the tubes. They don't know what they're talking about most of the time. I read is always a red flag. Amen? Always a red flag. That's all. That's it. That's what I have for you today. And I think that's powerful. Remember that your decision making is inside of your beautiful self. Your heart, your soul, your intuition, your knowing. It's in there. And we're checking all those boxes. Don't doubt yourself. Love yourself up enough to keep doing the work. Don't give up. Never give up on yourself. And if somebody has their opinion and wants to take you down, you send them over to me. I'll straighten them out for you. That's a promise. That's it. All right. You guys are great. Don't forget, if you want free shipping, ships free, all you have to do is put the Glyco Sign in your cart and put everything else in there. And if you want to get it really fun and get a mindful mug, I'm happy to send that to you. Just do a $250 supplement order and it's yours free. I'll send it to you with a little sweet note telling you how wonderful you are because I love you. How do you like that? See you tomorrow. Tuesday is Tuesday's tip. Peace out. Bye.